Crafty's on the TV, chipping that stone with obsidian and Flint. He's in the zone. He's shaping the future with a hit and a crack, building the legends, ain't no turning back. With every sharp edge, he's teaching the way of the ancients who thrive back in the day. Crafty on the TV, talking that smack, stone carving dreams, never looking back. From Texas to Vermont, Crafty studies us, chiseling the past, building futures for us. Wielding the hammer, he's steady and strong, crafting a world where we all belong. Underneath those layers of dust and grit, finds the magic every little bit. A sculptor of stories, buried in the ground. Each piece he uncovers wisdom abound. With every collision, the sparks start to fly. As the old world awakens, we question why. He's digging deeper where the shadows play, reviving old crafts that could fade away. Crafty on the TV, talking that smack, stone carving dreams, never looking back. From Texas to Vermont, Crafty studies us, chiseling the past, building futures for us. Wielding the hammer, he's steady and strong, crafting a world where we all belong. And in this life, we're all just searching for our place in the world, a way to keep working. With the flick of his wrist, he brings forth the light. In every gray morning, he makes it feel right. So gather around, let the stories unfold. Crafty's our guide through the young and the old. With the sun rising high and the day moving on, Crafty carves dreams till the light is all gone. He's shaping the future one chip at a time. With every creation, he's keeping the rhyme. From the heartland of Texas to the mountains of green, the legacy lives on through the stonework unseen. With every perspective, he's showing the way. Crafty keeps going, come whatever may. Crafty on the TV, talking that smack, stone carving dreams, never looking back. From Texas to Vermont, Crafty studies us, chiseling the past, building futures for us. Wielding the hammer, he's steady and strong, crafting a world where we all belong. So here's to the mornings with coffee in hand and Crafty on the screen, the true heart of the land. With a hit and a crack, he's paving the way through stone and through story. He inspires the day.
Hello, hello. Let's see, who do we have? Who has joined us on this very cold day? Well, for me, it's very cold. Let's see. I'll do my usual, trying to find my live stream. I don't get notified of my own live streams, so I gotta do it the hard way and search. There it is. All right.
Do it the hard way and search.
Where is, or who's the first one? Merry Christmas, says Big C. Merry Christmas. TJ, number 2. Dockenstein, Graylin, Dr. Vostube, Styley Designs, or Larry. JF Baird. What's that, Creed? No, it's a song that Danny Collins wrote, and I think it's an app that he used to write that song. It's got AI generated music or something like that in that app. Mac Bale says hi. Hey, Jay is here, Wilderness Quest Outdoors. Awesome. Alrighty, so we've got lots of people already. Let's start flint napping. I've got some obsidian I'm going to do. I'm going to do obsidian tonight. Okay, so this is obsidian, believe it or not. I'm going to break into this one, and then I'll work on some other pieces. Yeah, I worked on some regular stones earlier, and I need to take a break from working tough stuff. Yeah, I also, earlier, I showed this already. Earlier, I thinned this down. This was on the last live stream. I was having trouble with this. So I was working on it this morning and this afternoon to get it thinned down. So that's what I got so far. So there's just a little bit left of the cortex on the edge there. But I did not want to do this on the live stream because it gets too nerve-wracking. It's a nail biter when it gets this thin and this long. So I do it off camera so that I don't mess it up. And it will be available in the auction, but I'm going to refine it even further. Yeah, this is just the stage, the finishing stage before the sharpening, or the thinning stage, the last thinning stage. I already finished the last thinning stage on this, and then I just have to sharpen it and put some notches or whatever, or a base of some sort. Okay, so just so you know what happened to the last piece. This looks like just an ordinary rock, but it's obsidian. So let's break into this one before we lose all the people that want to watch Flintnapping. Let's see, what do we got? Amazing, remarkable, fantastic, and wonderful. Yeah, okay, that's it. No? You want to see how I make an arrowhead out of this? Alrighty. I don't know if I can do it. No, I don't know. We shall see. Yeah, we shall see. It's a volcanic glass. Obsidian is volcanic glass. Yeah, we had to climb a volcano. Really? Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a long dormant volcano, but yeah. And I say we because I got this as a gift. So I did not do it myself. I received this rock as a gift. Like most of my rocks. Oh, dang, a little bit too much. I hit that a little bit too hard. Yeah. I can never put these back together. What's up with that? Anyway. Took off a lot of that edge. Now, this edge, this overshot edge, it is good for scraping wood, but that's about it. Yeah. How do I know it's good for scraping wood? I knew you would ask that. So, let's see. Let's see if we can generate some shavings using that overshot edge. Oh, we can. I mean, that was super easy. Yes? Yeah, but it gets dull fast. But yeah. That's what you can use the overshot edge for, but it gets dull fast. I'd rather just use a normal flake. Anyways, thought I'd show you that. That's about the only thing an overshot flake is good for, is an edge that can shave wood. If it works just right. I mean, it doesn't always look that way. All right, I went down from an 8-ounce bopper down to like a 3-ounce solid head copper bopper. I've got a shorts video on my tools that I did on December 10th. Okay, so you can look at that. December 10th is my tools video. It's a short video. Super dark obsidian. Yeah, this is not translucent at all. It's my favorite. Yeah. I don't like the translucent or transparent obsidians as much as the solid ones. Yeah, it's a solid edge, but it's brittle. It does get dull fast. It stays sharper on rocks, on regular stone. Obsidian gets dull fast. But you can work wood with obsidian. I'm not saying you cannot. It's just one of those things that you have to keep resharpening a lot. So just because you get a nice edge that works for 5 minutes doesn't mean that that's what they used to do. I'll be doing some more working with wood with stone tools here coming up soon, hopefully, if I can get my act together. Tommy Taylor says, live long and prosper. Let's see. Who else do we got? I'm going to be checking the chat. I don't care. I love it. I love that it doesn't look like obsidian. It's a rock like a box of chocolates. Yeah. I wind up breaking larger things on live stream just because of the pressure. Yes, yes. Jay knows. He knows. Bushy's in the house. Frodo Joe is in the house. Yes, okay. So let's continue to work on this. I have to be very gentle with it. Yeah. Obsidian is very, very brittle, but very, very sharp. The irony is it is sharp with these natural edges on the flakes. Like if you take a flake off, the natural edges on the flakes are sharp, but to sharpen the edge intentionally is difficult. But to generate just a regular flake with sharp edges is extremely easy. And those edges, those natural edges, are very fine, and they can go down to like an atom's width, ATOM. Very, very fine edges. They break easily, but yeah, that's where you get the sharpness on these natural flakes. On the edge like this, it's not that sharp. Okay, when you finish the piece, it doesn't have this kind of sharpness. It has a kind of a sawtooth sharpness when you're done with a piece like this, with an arrowhead. So I guess some people think that arrowheads made of obsidian have that really, really, really sharp edge, and they don't. Because to create an intentional sharp edge on obsidian is very difficult. But these flakes, extremely sharp. The flakes are extremely sharp. So that's the difference. In case you didn't know. A lot of people don't know that, actually. They think the arrowheads can get just as sharp as those flakes, and it's not true. All right. Working with obsidian is a different ball game than working with stone, like flint or chert, or any other kind of knappable stone. It's not the same thing. It does not translate in skills either. So if you're good at knapping obsidian, that does not make you good at knapping stone like flint or chert, and vice versa. Just because you can knap flint and chert doesn't mean you can knap obsidian effectively. I have to practice with both on a constant basis because they're totally different ball games. Somebody says, don't hurt yourself, bro. Why not? It makes good content. Yeah. If I hurt myself, I get a bunch of viewers. Let's see. I'm kidding, yes. I'm kidding about, hurting myself. I would not want to do it on purpose for clicks. Well, let's see. The Primitive Gentleman says, I wonder where is the best place for artifacts knapping material that something has the best quality of life. What do you think? I wonder where is the best place for artifacts and knapping material that also has the best quality of life, that would be the West Coast. Yeah. They didn't give up their culture as quickly as the East Coast, as an example, and it's probably because their cultures were, you know, pretty nice. High quality of life on the West Coast. Yeah, they kept their cultures for a long period of time, even after European contact. So they liked their culture a lot. I would say West Coast would be my guess. Materials, there's a lot of obsidian, but there's also a lot of chert on the West Coast. Lots of asphaltum, which is the natural glue that Native Americans used. It would wash up on the beaches on the West Coast. Yep. So glue, excellent glue. Asphaltum is excellent glue. And there was also lots of old growth forests, huge gigantic trees for canoes and stuff, dugouts, timber for houses. They made lodges out of timber before European contact. They would split the logs. Yeah. Whereas in other parts of the country, they would use bark mainly to cover their lodges. Oh, see, Gary says, Patrick, what did Santa bring you? Actually, I don't think. Let me think. The only thing I got from Santa this year was a sweater, an Icelandic wool sweater. My sister bought that for me. Yeah, fancy schmancy, expensive. But I love that. I love that sweater now. Yeah, I haven't had one of those proper sweaters because, living in Texas, you don't need one. But here, yeah. So I got an Icelandic sweater, wool, very warm. It's awesome. I probably got something else, but I can't remember. I got a bunch of Merry Christmases from all kinds of people, so that was nice. Every year I get more Merry Christmases from people, which is nice. Very nice. I don't have regular friends here in Vermont except my extended family, all my step relatives. But just regular buddies and stuff, I only see them at Knappings. Yeah. But my online community is growing a lot. So that's nice. Okay, so it's getting to the point where it's getting more difficult. Let's see. Jeremy says, hope all is good. Yes, all is good. Keith Callahan's here. Let's see, who else we got? Buckskin NYB, Marty's here. He just left Billings. It is cold up there, I imagine. It's like single digits here. Although it's up to about, I don't know. It got up to like 11 degrees. I haven't even checked the temperature. But yeah, our temperature here in Vermont has been very different from day to day. It can be not too bad one day and then absolutely bitter cold the next day. Yeah, it was super cold this morning. Now that I think about it, it probably got up to about 20 some odd degrees in the middle of the day. It's starting to creep its way back down to single digits. I have the heater running. Hopefully that buzzing in the background is not annoying. All right, let's see. What else we got in the chat? Talking about traveling. Let's see. I can either watch the napping or watch the chat. Is anyone else having that trouble? Oh, okay. I hope you guys don't have trouble watching both at the same time. You gotta just restart YouTube. Close it out and restart it. That's what I would do. And then make sure you open the window for the chat if you're on your computer. If you're on your computer and you can see the napping but not the chat, I think there's a button that says open chat. I've been watching other live streams to see how to do it. See if there's anything I can tell you. If there's like a bug or something in the watching of the chat or the video itself. Maybe I can help you troubleshoot. I don't know. I haven't had trouble watching live streams on my computer. Sometimes I do on my phone because of slow connections. I tried to watch a live stream while I was at my stepsister's house. The connection was kind of slow, so the live stream was a little choppy. It was not a Flintnapping live stream. It was just a regular influencer live stream of some sort. What was I watching? I try to watch news. I was watching a guy that does updates on the Ukrainian war, Russia-Ukraine war. It does live streams sometimes. I don't know. I don't know which one I was watching. Anyways, this is getting all crunchy because I'm not used to it. I was working on regular rocks today. It naps differently than obsidian. So let me focus here. The easy part's over. It's starting to get difficult because as it gets thinner, it gets more difficult. Oh yeah, talking about thinness, I posted some data on Folsom points in the community section. Yeah, I just typed in what's on my mind. Or I copy and pasted from Grok some of the answers I got about Folsom points. And just to let you know that they're not all thin. Not all Folsom points are thin. Okay? Some people don't know that. They think they're all the Folsom points are extremely thin, and they're not. In fact, the average is 5-to-1 ratio. Now, people that have been watching my channel understand what 5-to-1 ratio is. Okay? Other people don't know. But it's like width to thickness ratio. And the average is 5-to-1. It's not insane like some people think. Insanely thin. Only the finest examples, which is like 1%. Yeah, are very thin. And those are the ones that get all the attention. So people think they're all thin, but they're not. Okay, so you guys trying to, beat your head up against the wall because you can't do the thin Folsoms. As long as you get 5-to-1, you're within range. I mean, that's the average. And yeah, we're talking about the thickness between the flutes compared to the width of the thing. Okay, so they're not all thin. In fact, most of them are not. They're just within range of every other time period thinness. Okay? All right? Okay. So if they're not thin, why don't I make some? Because they're boring. I think they are boring. I made a few when I first started napping because I was like everybody else. If I don't make Folsoms or Clovises or Cumberlands or First Views, Cody Points and all that, then I'm a loser. That's what I thought in the beginning too. And then I got wiser and older, or older and then wiser, whichever. After doing lots of research, I said, man, it's not worth the time invested, because all I'm going to end up showing you is the truth, and the truth is not what people want to see. No, they want to see the extremes, and I'm not into the extremes on this channel. Although you might think I am. No, I am not. All right, so I'm trying to. I got past the crunchy stage. Now it's the final thinning. This next set of flakes is going to determine whether I make it thin or not. It's the make it or break it stage right now. After this grinding. What else we got in the chat going on? Hey, John Turner. 84 degrees in Central Texas. Dang it, I don't miss Texas. I don't. No. Let's see. Okay, what else we got? What else we got? Joel is in the house. I don't know if I've seen. There's some new guys I haven't seen. Usually we got a bunch of new guys. I have a video on my tools. Before someone asks, I made the video, or a short video, on December 10th. So you got to scroll back into my videos into December, early December. I made sure that I knew where it was. I can't remember the name. Well, I think it's my current tools. So if you type in Jack Crafty, my current tools, you can see everything that I'm working with. Someone posted 6.7. Yeah. Six shot 9 and then 7.89. Yeah. I found out. I did some research and I found out that 6 shot 9 and then 7.89. Yeah. What is that? I don't know. You tell me what that is. I was looking up different weird memes also today. Just because I was eating dinner. I always get on the computer when I'm eating dinner. Yeah, I make that mistake. So I got on the computer and I started looking at weird memes. And some of these weird memes are pretty dumb. I don't like memes all that much, because they can get real stupid, I think. I mean, I'm just a boomer, right? So memes, meh. Memes are meh. M-E-H. Memes are meh for me. But, you know, if you grew up with them, I suppose they might be awesome. I suppose. Anyway, what weird memes was I looking at? There are memes going around where people are doing things that are normally cringy or cause you to be very reactive, like surprised, or if you're eating something like a lemon that causes a sour face, but you do these things with a straight face or with no reaction, and people looking at you like, what? What? Yeah, you do something that makes most humans react very badly, but they have a straight face. And there's these memes going around where people record themselves with a straight face doing these things that normally would cause people to cringe or act badly or act surprised or whatever. And you can see the expression on their faces like, wait a second. He should be keeling over, throwing up all over the place, but yet he's eating that gross thing. As an example, you know. And he's just eating it with a straight face. Like I saw a guy eating a raw ginger root, just crunching on it with a straight face. Stuff like that. Have you seen those? No? That's what I watch when I'm eating dinner. I watch these weird things. If you saw my history, you would say, dude, no wonder you say you've got autism. I can't believe what you watch, dude. It's so weird. Yeah. I can't believe what I watch either. Yeah, I'm autistic. I'm on the spectrum somewhere. I score very high on autism tests. Yeah. Believe it or not. Yeah. Both my sons and I, we score very high on autism tests. One of my sons has been diagnosed. We had to get him diagnosed in order to get him some help at school. So we know exactly what he has. He's got a twin brother. Same deal, but autism expresses itself a little bit differently in everybody. So his brother has a little bit of a different expression of autism. Anyways, I can tell my dad had autism. I got it somewhere, somehow. It's hard for autists to know exactly what type of autism they have, because everything seems okay, sort of. Until they start interacting with people, then things are not okay. Yeah. You find out that you're not okay when you start interacting with people. But that's the only time you know. Somebody is texting me. Don't they know that I am on a live stream and people are watching? They're scrutinizing. What is this? No, I'm not going to check. Or should I check? I can't resist. Hold on. I've got ADHD as well, so I'm in a world of hurt. Okay? Hold on. No. Wait a second. No, can't see it on there. I'm not going to check. Somebody sent me some texts, and I can't check it right now because I'm using my phone to film this. And my other phone is a different phone number, so it doesn't show up on that one. So now you know. Now you know my struggles. You might say, dude, you're not struggling at all. You got two phones. How's that a struggle? That sounds like privilege to me. Yeah, I'm privileged to have to pay the bills on that stuff. Hey, Alan, $10 super chat. Awesome. Thank you, Alan. Let's see. I'll put a heart and a like. Let's see. Where am I? I'm gonna check to see what's going on in the chat. I have a feeling I'm missing stuff. And yeah, I get FOMO. I'm thinking I'm missing stuff. Chris says, hey, I ordered the copper rod for my indirect. My wire was bending too easy. Awesome. You'll find that the copper rods are much better, than wire. Delivery not guaranteed news says, what are you making? A mess. I'm making a mess. Can't you see? Don't worry about this. This is insignificant and irrelevant. This is what I'm making down here. Most of the stuff is messy. I mean, Flintnapping produces a lot of waste. Most of what flint knapping is that stuff right there. This, yeah, it's kind of irrelevant. Okay? All right. Let's see. Jim Cooper's here. Let's see. Someone's on the spectrum. Zach is on the spectrum. We've got lots of people on the spectrum in flint knapping, believe me. Oh, yes. How do I know? I don't know. Let's see. I'm looking for, let's see. Jim says, I played with a few pieces of that Texas rock you sent me yesterday, Patrick. One piece was pretty crunchy, but the other stuff was really nice. I've never seen so much pink in a Texas rock before. Awesome. Yeah. There's a lot of that stuff, actually, that has pink in it. Yeah. So, which one was crunchy? I sent you a couple of pieces that were kind of separate types. Let's see. Man, someone keeps sending me texts. Let's see. Tommy Anderson, hope everybody's Christmas day was awesome. Oh, yes. I ate way too many carbs yesterday. I'm still feeling it. My brain is in fog right now. I have brain fog. Yeah. Okay, talking about pine resin. All right, so yeah, we lost a lot of people when I checked the chat. It doesn't matter. I'm going to stop even paying attention to that. Yeah. When I first started doing live streams, I was wondering a lot about why people watch and how many people stay watching and what do I do to attract or turn off the viewers. But now it doesn't matter. I found out that the average view duration is 49 seconds. So, man, why do I even worry? I worry too much. Yeah, just like I tell other people not to worry too much, I worry too much. I got to take my own advice and not worry so much about that. All righty. I can't check my messages right now. Whoever's sending me messages. No, I cannot do it right now. I'm not able to check my phone messages. I can only see the little notifications. Oh, dang. Did I mess it up? I messed it up. See, I got a little land bridge in there. Hey, let's see. What else we got? We've got some more new guys. Ross is in the house. Ed is in the house. Okay, I thought we had some new people. Those guys are old hands. Okay, good. See, I managed to eliminate the land bridge. That's one good thing about Obsidian is the damage control is fairly easy. Relatively, comparatively easy. Yeah. Sometimes you get those land bridges and they don't go away. You got to suffer with it. Just leave it in. Yeah. So you guys that are new that think Folsom points are extremely thin, I have a post on the community. I just typed in what was on my mind. It asked me, what's on your mind? So I typed in some stuff on Folsom, and I asked Grok about certain things. So I copied and pasted some answers from Grok into my post on my community page. Turns out Folsoms are not all thin. So I might make a thick Folsom and invite some ridicule. Yeah. People will ridicule me because I'm not doing the 1%. The top 1% of all Folsoms. If I don't do those, I get ridiculed. Or I can see it right now. Yeah, and I'll get into the conversation that they don't want to get into. No. So why should I do it? I shouldn't. I should just stop thinking about it and move on. So I'm getting to the point where I don't want to thin it anymore. It's getting nerve-wracking. I might have to turn the heater off because I'm starting to sweat. Although this is high-grade obsidian, it still can break in half. Easily. Yes, yes. It might look easy. Those of you that want to get into flint napping say, hey, that doesn't look too hard. I could probably do it because I can do everything else. Yeah. It looks just like carving. Yeah. It's like carving stone or glass. I can do it. Yeah, just go ahead and try it. I dare you. Double dare you. I watched that movie, the Christmas Story movie. I hadn't seen that in years, with the little kid that wants the BB gun. I didn't remember much from the movie. But in the movie, they double dare and triple dare. Yeah, that's the ultimate. If you triple dare somebody. I triple dare you to start napping. Yep. They ended up triple daring some kid to touch his tongue on a frozen pole. Yeah, he got stuck. Yeah. I remember when that was a thing, but I knew someone that stuck his hand on a pole, leaning on a pole. Not his tongue, because no one's stupid enough to put their tongue on a pole. But yeah, when I was in 7th grade, we stood outside in the wintertime until the bell rang at school. Back in those days, and it was like single digits, I guess, outside. And he leaned up against the flagpole, stuck his hand to it. Yep. But he ripped it off immediately. He had to go to the nurse's office. And he came to class with a bandage on his hand, yeah. No one triple dared him. That's just a story from my own past. I've got winter stories I could tell. Especially sledding accidents. Sledding accidents that I swear I would take to the grave and my mom would never find out. And she never did. Nope. Never found out about the sledding accidents. Or we used to use toboggans. They were cheaper than the sleds. If someone had a nice sled, that was the rich kid that came around to the hill with a nice sled. Yeah, the rest of us had little toboggans and stuff. My daughter called me. Dang it. Let's see. Hold on a second. Maybe I can text her. Let me see. Hold on. I wonder if I answer if it's okay. Let's see. Okay, I wonder if did that interrupt anything? Okay, so it did freeze the live stream. Okay. I think we're back in action. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm trying to get this thing down and talk about stuff and look at the chat. I'm trying to do everything. I got a little bit of crunchiness now in the middle, so I'm gonna have to wait to get that crunchiness out until it gets a little bit more narrow. Yeah. So that's one of the last things I'm going to do is get that crunchiness out with a flake later. But right now, I've got to focus on the rest of it. Yeah. I'll get that. I'll get that out later. That's just a cosmetic fix because it looks too flakery and crunchy right there. So I want to just run one flake into there to see if I can make it smoother. All right, so everywhere else looks okay, except it's still a little thick down here at the base. And why am I working obsidian? Because I don't want to work flint right now or chert. I've been working on that all day. I was thinking of taking a break, but this is not much of a break because it's still getting on my nerves. Mike Mason says he likes the flakery. Yeah. Some people, okay, if that's what you like. I'm not going to judge. Who am I to judge? Oh, it's not doing it. Oh, I don't like it when it doesn't do it. I don't like it. Sometimes it wants me to hit really hard, and I don't know why, because it's obsidian. And the reason why I know it wants me to hit this really hard is because the flakes are not traveling. They're stopping before they get to the middle. So that means I need to hit harder. I don't want to hit harder. The edge is fine, the grinding is fine, everything's fine. The tip, everything is fine. It's just I didn't hit hard enough. The angles are fine. I'm already used to the material pretty much. The only thing is I don't want to hit really hard and overshoot or crack the whole thing in half. So answering phone calls actually freezes the live stream. That's kind of good to know. Yeah. I need to check it once I get back into the house after the live stream. I'll check and see what actually happens during a phone call. All right, so let's see if I can run some big flakes. Jim says I got a doming kit for Christmas that will make boppers easier to make. Oh, okay, cool. The doming kit is for making these domed caps. Let's see, Munklentine? Munklentine? Let's see, that's a weird name, huh? Howdy, where did you get the nylon dowel you're using? This is ultra high molecular weight plastic, UHMW plastic. I don't know if you can see. I got it on eBay. Ask me in the comment section later, I'll give you a direct link to it. But yeah, you just type in 1 1/4 inch diameter, UHMW plastic, rod, comma, black. And it comes in, I think, 24-inch lengths on eBay. But there's different sellers. And yeah, this is 9 inches and it weighs 6 ounces. Okay, that's the stats on this. 1 1/4 diameter, 9 inches long, weighs 6 ounces. If you have something similar, then use that instead of ordering it. How much does it cost? I forget, but it's like it was 20 some odd dollars last time I checked for a 2-foot piece, something like that. It's not that expensive, but you don't have to get black. You can get white. Yeah, doesn't matter. I just got the black one because it was actually cheaper. The white one, I think, is food grade or something like that. I don't know. It's been such a long time since I ordered one. This has lasted me many years. That's the one thing that lasts me a long time is the mallet. This has lasted me longer than any other tool. So That's what I'm looking for as far as flakes go. Yeah. And usually I say voila. So that was a voila flake. It's a Flintnapping term. Yeah. You didn't know there was such things as voila flakes? Man, where you been? Certainly not on this channel. You've been living under some other people's channels. I find that it's pretty common. People get locked into their favorite channels and they never venture forth into the real world. They stay in a little bubble. Yeah, they create bubbles for themselves, actually. You need to venture out a little bit. You need to get out more. Yeah.
Well, obviously, I got out more because I ended up on your stupid channel.
Okay, fine. But at least they're getting out, right? It's more fun that way? No? Man, some people just don't. They don't have any fun when they're trying to have fun. What is that?
When it comes to Flintnapping, I only have fun if the guy's doing it right. Yeah. If you're not Flintnapping right, I don't have any fun.
You need to do some Flintnapping by on your own. Stop bugging people. Yeah. Just do some Flintnapping on your own. And maybe you will develop some empathy for the Flintnappers. Instead of all this stuff that needs crybaby sandwiches. Yeah. Just go have a little crybaby sandwich and start Flintnapping on your own. The sandwich will make you feel all brittle. Yeah. And just start Flintnapping. And you'll have a better appreciation of what's going on. Yep. And you don't need fancy tools either. Just whatever metals you can get a hold of, because steel works, aluminum works, brass kind of works. It's not that great. Steel's not that great. The best metal is copper, obviously, or you can go with the traditional hammerstones and antlers and bones and stuff. Although, fair warning, if you have not napped and you want to do the hammerstones and bones and antler stuff, it's going to be a royal pain. Just letting you know. So if you have lots of trouble with it, it's because everybody has lots of trouble with it. It's not you. I get a lot of questions from exasperated people like, why can't I do it? Why? My whole existence was supposed to be centered around all this antler stuff. And I bought like tons of antlers. And I can't do it. My hammerstones are so pretty. Still can't do it. That's because it's hard for everybody with natural tools.
But how did they used to do it?
With lots of pain and suffering back in the day. It was not easy. Lots of pain and suffering. So don't worry. If you're going through lots of pain and suffering, that's what they used to go through. Humans have not changed very much. You can kind of argue that we've gotten dumber, but not that much dumber. No. I mean, we can't change all that much in, civilizations like 6,000 years old or something. We haven't changed that much in that amount of time. Although, we've tried really hard to get really dumb. Yeah. We're pretty much the same as we were back in the Stone Age. So it's not you, it's the material. It's very hard to do it, both for us modern humans and back in the day, those very clever Stone Age people. It was hard for them too. Because it's physics. You know it was difficult because of the physics. We understand physics very well and all that stuff, properties of materials. And we know it's hard to work with natural tools because of the physics. right? Natural tools are highly variable also. The good thing about copper is it's the same every single time. But an antler, one antler is different from the next antler, is different from the next antler. One hammerstone is different from the next hammerstone, is different from the next hammerstone. One piece of bone is different from the pieces of bones next to it, and on and on and on. So you may have a good day or a good week or a good year with your tools, and then all of a sudden you can't do it. And you're wondering why. You're thinking, my brain has regressed and I am now a moron. I have brain regression. No, it's because the tools are probably not as good as the first set you got. You just got unlucky and now you have junk tools. Yeah. It could be that you've regressed. I'm not saying you didn't. You could have got dumber, yes. I mean, you could have stopped drinking your protein drinks and started drinking Monster drinks and mess up your brain. That sort of thing. Yeah, you could have done it to yourself and got dumber. But the likelihood is that the tools are just nasty now. If things have changed. If things have changed for the better, then good. That's what it's supposed to do. So stay on the right track. If things are getting better over time, then that's good. You figured it out. And I'm still learning, even after 15 years of doing this, or what is it, 17 years of doing this? I'm still learning. I can still practice different techniques if I want. Yeah. I don't have to do it the same old, same old. I can use different tools. I switch up my tools. If you notice in my past videos, I use other materials. I've used aluminum and steel in some of my previous videos. That sort of thing. But I've also used different techniques. Yeah, I've used the tools differently. Not only do I use different tools, but I've used them differently. I don't always use the same technique with a certain type of tool. Yeah. And I don't always use indirect percussion when I knap. Sometimes I do it like they used to do it in the old days, just only percussion and pressure. Only direct percussion and pressure. No indirect percussion. That's the way they used to do it when I first started. 17 years ago, whatever. Everyone was just only boppers or hammerstones and pressure flakers. That's it. Nobody was using indirect percussion. Barely anybody. There was some that were using it kind of, sort of. But it was considered fringe. Fringe and cringe. Yeah. Something that only the cringy would do. And I got strange looks when I started using it. And I would get comments like, well, I guess I can't argue with success. And I would think to myself, why even argue? Dang it. You're so argumentative. Yeah. People want to argue. But they couldn't because they saw success. At least they admitted it. But they didn't like it. They would say things like, yeah, can't argue with success, I guess. I guess so. Oh, well. I mean, he's got some success. You got to admit that. But, dang. Never seen that before. Yeah. So what am I going to do? Do I thin it more? Can I get it even thinner? Can I Folsomize it and get it as thin as a Folsom? Yeah. Folsoms, a lot of times were 5:1 with the thickness ratio. So if it's 5:1, it's Folsomized. Yeah. No, dude, that's not Folsomized, you dingbat. Holy crowley. Folsom is super duper paper thin. It's even thinner than a tater chip. It's so thin that it just kind of disappears when you turn it. Where'd it go? Yeah. No, it's not true. Not true at all. Excuse me. So what am I going to do now? Well, I got to work on the edge to make it straighter because it's kind of wonky. Excuse me. I forgot to drink my water before the live stream. So right now, this is where I'm at. Okay. I got rid of the crunchiness in the middle that I don't like on both sides. So I have side A1 and side A2 because they're both side A. I like them both. It took me years to like both sides. Yeah. And now I've got to make the edge straighter because I sell these things. I can leave it wonky and it still works. I mean, I don't have to make it perfect. But if I want to sell it, I've got to make it look nice. Yeah. I mean, nicer. And what is this? This is an obsidian, but we call it a dacite obsidian because you can't see through it. And it's a little bit grainy. It's not quite the same texture. It's a little bit more crushy than regular obsidian. But it is kind of a high grade, what we call buttery dacite or buttery dacite obsidian. It's my favorite right now. I gotta admit, yeah. But my favorites, they change over time. Maybe a year from now, my favorite will be something else. Yeah. And I don't have a favorite point style. Although, I do have like a favorite placement for my notches. I like to do corner notches. So if you want to know that bit of information, I like corner notches more than other types of notches. But I will do all kinds of notches. Side notches, basal notches, notches near the tip. Oh yeah, there's some points have little notches near the tip. It's a weird thing. And some have serrations and notches on the side. Some have only serrations. Some have a series of notches, multi-notch. There's all kinds of different point styles. So, where was I going with that? I don't know. But yeah, I decide what I want to do for notches later, and my favorite is usually a default to corner notching. I can already start notching it now because all it needs on the sides is straightening and sharpening on these edges. It doesn't take very long to straighten and sharpen this. Because it's obsidian, but also because it's pretty thin. I don't need to worry about thinning it anymore. I just focus on sharpening it and straightening the edge. That's it. The hard part's over, pretty much. Okay, so I will do some corner notches, yeah, just because I don't have all day. This is a limited time live stream. I've only got 1 more hour. That's it. I'm slow making these things these days. It used to take me 45 minutes average to make a point when I started making stuff that I wanted to make. Finally started making stuff that I wanted to make. It took me about 45 minutes to make a point. Now it takes me 1 hour and 45 minutes. What happened? Why did you regress in your mental capacity, dude? It takes you forever now. I remember you used to knock them out. I saw you at a nap and you did one in 20 minutes. What's up? Well, I'm trying to make them more perfect nowadays. Yeah. Because I sell these now. Instead of giving them away. I used to just give them away. I sell them now as a part-time little side hustle. I got some little auctions going on. People want nice stuff. It's amazing how people like nice stuff. I can't figure it out. I don't know what it is. Got to make them nice. So it takes me longer to make them these days. Okay? Maybe it benefits you to watch me take a longer period of time. Maybe not. I have a feeling that not everyone likes to watch a 3-hour or 2-hour video. Yeah. Have I made a 3-hour video? No, I'm just saying. I think my longest one is like 2 hours and 20 minutes or something like that. I don't know. But it's over 2 hours. I think I broke it up into different segments, but yeah. Oh yeah, I've spent over 2 hours on one point. Especially these Cody points. Damn Cody points. Get you. What's a Cody point? Who's Cody? Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. It's just Flintnapping jargon. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't even try to get into making Cody points. You won't like it. No. Just letting you know. You'll like the way they look, but you won't like doing it. No, dude, but I like challenges. I love challenges. Challenges are my life. What you talking about? All right. You'll see. It's a challenge, yeah. You'll see. Oh, yes. Go ahead and do it. I dare you. Double dare you. See, one of the advantages that they had back in the day was that they didn't have all these choices. They didn't have the information that we have at their fingertips, so to speak. They had a lot of information on napping, yes, but the different point styles that we have access to through different time periods, as an example, they didn't have access to different time periods, especially the future time periods, right? We have access to all the Stone Age, future, past, everything. So we have a lot more information. We got a lot more choices. I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, we're actually more challenged in our work than they were back in the day, because they only had one point style basically their whole lives. Maybe 2 or 3 more in their library because their neighbors were making their points slightly different. So you go, yeah, I'm going to copy some of the traits from my neighbor. He's got this ability to do notches that I don't, so I'm going to go over there and see. Maybe I can trade him my mother-in-law for some pointers on the notching. Yeah. That's not a very good trade. But you know what I mean. They only had access to one point style, basically, with maybe a few others. Or if someone was smart, they'd invent a new style in the tribe, and everyone would make fun of them for a long time until they finally warmed up to it. That kind of thing. Oh, look at Joe over there. He thinks he's a big shot doing newfangled type of stuff over there. We've been hunting deer the same way for 1,000 years. You can see it, right? We carved it on the rock right there. Every season, we have 1,000 seasons carved on that rock. And we've been making the same point style, and he comes around and thinks he's a big shot. He's got a new style going on. Because he saw it. He traveled down the street, down the road, down the river. He says, yeah, they made these points like this and that. It was awesome. You mean those guys upriver that poop in the river? We see them floaties come down every day? Them guys? Yeah. Them guys. Yeah, they might poop in the river, but they got some awesome notching over there. Dang it. So what am I doing? I'm just showing how to crunch these in. Are you paying attention to the napping and not the story? No? You're watching with your ears? I can't see nothing going on unless I'm hearing it. All I'm hearing is the story about the floaties. I don't see no flintnapping going on. Turn on the volume and then watch it. Yeah. Just turn down the volume and watch it. See what's going on. Okay? All right. I'm going to deepen these notches just a little bit more. It's so much easier with obsidian to do notching than it is with flint and chert. The notching on obsidian, you can do amazing things with obsidian notching. One of these days I might make some eccentrics, which are weird things, or maybe some effigies, all this weird stuff. You can do not only tools, but you can make ornaments and religious items with flintnapping, just like they did back in the day. Oh yes. You can make ornaments and religious items with flintnapping. And, you know, funeral gifts. Yeah. For, you know, hunting stuff in the afterlife. That kind of thing. Special stuff for use in the afterlife. All right, it's getting hot. Why is it getting hot? Well, sometimes the notching gets a little bit nerve-wracking because I can knock off one of these barbs as an example. Especially if I start to stall this stuff, which I feel like I am. It gets me nervous. Yeah, we had a lot of people come through, hit the like button or double tap the screen. If you double tap the screen, YouTube likes me more if you hit the like button. See, the YouTube doesn't think anymore. It just goes by audience reaction. Yeah. They got the algorithm set to audience reaction. That's what it is. It's just been simplified down to audience reaction. So if you like it, YouTube likes it. They've dumbed it down a lot, actually, which it can be good, sometimes bad, because engagement and likes sometimes reflect not so healthy stuff. You know what I mean? But anyways, that's what they're doing. They are promoting these shorts and live streams, so if I want to keep up with the monetization aspect of this, I got to do shorts and live streams. Yeah. Otherwise, my revenue starts going down. And that's no fun. Yeah. That's no fun at all. I mean, I used to not care, but then after a while you say to yourself, I'm kind of wasting my time if I don't at least pay attention to that stuff. A little bit. Wasting my time. I could be doing something else for money. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to put a notch in the base. I'm going to make what they call it Elko style. Yeah. So I'll put notches in the base, or one notch. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm done with the side notches. I'm going to be doing the base work now. That's pretty typical of the way I do this. I do the notching first before I modify the base. Some people do it the other way. They'll modify the base before doing these notches. But I find it easier to make a fancy base after I do the notches, even though I do risk breaking off the ears. I find it easier to modify the base after the notching is put in. And sometimes it helps to clean up mistakes from the notching. Like if you get a step fracture while notching, sometimes you can come in from the base and flake that out. Oops, dang it, I hit that. I skipped across and went in there and it hit that barb. And now it's not symmetrical. Dang it. See, I took off just a little bit off that barb by accident. I gotta watch what I do. Shield my notching. Okay. Now I'm going to thin this down. Now it probably doesn't need to be thinned. Let me see. Yeah, it fits in. This was a wide notch. Let's see. Where's my other one? Everything fits in that one. How about this one? Okay, yeah, it can be thinned for this one. This foreshaft has a thin or narrow notch. So yeah, let's try to make it fit into this one. Okay. All right. Just because it matches what we're doing. I wanted to drive some basal flakes, so I can put in some basal notching. One big basal notch. But I'm going to thin this first so I don't stall it. Don't stall the notch. So 3 big flakes. Dum dum dum. To thin that down. Why 3? Because I did not want to do 4. There's no reason. Okay, so that thinned it down quite a bit. So now it fits in the notch. From the side view, it's pretty symmetrical. You know, it doesn't look like it's too thick on one. It is thicker on this side, I think, but it's still okay. It fits snugly. I don't want it to be loose in the slot in the foreshaft. Now, when I put the basal notch in, it's going to go deeper. So hopefully the wood will come up to the top of the notching. Like right about there. Okay, so let me thin this down a little bit more because it is kind of lopsided. When I put it in, it's kind of lopsided and I can't straighten it out. And if I put it in the other way, it's still lopsided. It's straighter the other way, but it's still not, it doesn't work right. Turn. It's still, okay. So let's thin down the stem a little bit more. And then I'll put in the basal notch. Why do they put basal notches in there? That's a very good question. I think it was because they found that the glue works better when you put a notch in the bottom. That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know for sure. I haven't ruined enough of these by shooting to know if that glue works better if it has a basal notch or not. I got to ruin a bunch of these by shooting them to see if it actually makes a difference to have a base notch in it. Some say, oh, that base notch is to absorb shock. Yeah. Okay, well, maybe that's true, but that has not been my experience. Because there's glue in there, it's not going to absorb any shock. The glue is pretty stiff. I think it's just to increase surface area so that the glue works better. More to glue upon, so to speak. More surface to attach to. Especially with obsidian. It's so slippery. Yeah. Let's see. Is it straight now? Does it fit in straighter? It fits in straighter, but it's looser. Yeah. It does fit in straight now. But it's a little bit looser. Okay, so I'm going to put that base notch in there. So we can make an elko. Right, it's an elko eared or whatever. Where is my pressure flaker I was just using? Somebody is texting me again. So I'm going to put a concavity into the base. Pretty straightforward, simple operation. It's just going to be concave.
Wait, you're going to mess up the flake pattern with all these little bitty flakes. What's wrong with you?
I don't care. It's going to be covered up by the haft anyway. This thing is supposed to be hafted. It's not made to be sitting by itself like we do nowadays. Back in the day, they didn't care about making this nice and pretty with pretty flakes on the stem. That's not the... Even if it did look pretty, that wasn't the intention. The intention was to make sure it fits in the haft. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to do some fancy flaking. We'll just forget that. Just do little bitty flakes. So what that does is it brings the wood up further. The wood goes up a little bit further. It also gives you more surface area for the glue. If I deepen that notch, it'll increase the surface area even more. But yeah, it fits in more snugly now because it gets thicker as it gets toward the center. This should be the thickest part of any point. Right there, right across the neck or just above the neck. The neck is between the notches. So it should be thickest right above the neck. So as it goes deeper, as you cause a concavity in here, it goes deeper into the notch and it gets more snug. You see how it was loose earlier? But when I put the concavity in, now it's snug. Because the two things. One, I reduced the material at the bottom and it also gets thicker. So it actually wedges itself into the notch. Let me take a little bit more off of this side. It's not hitting the base of the notch in the same way on both sides. One side is not hitting. If it's not hitting the same on both sides, it tends to get crooked like that. It tends to be, crooked one way or the other. Okay, so, yeah, like that. And do I have my string, or did I throw away my string? My string for notching. I have some string that I use, not for notching, for hafting. So I can demonstrate. Where'd it go? No, I had a length of string. Yeah, here it is. Voila. Let's do this. So I can show you what it looks like. And this is cordage, yeah. We use sinew. We use sinew all the time. Just like they did back in the day. And I use sinew all the time. Sinew. But I'm going to use string because sinew takes a long time and it's a pain. Okay? All right. I knew you'd agree. I didn't agree, dude. You're not doing it right. I don't like people that don't do it right. Unsubscribe, unwatch, and unhappy. Sorry you're not happy. Yeah, really, really I am. You don't seem like you're unhappy. You seem like you're liking this. I can't lie. I like it when you don't like it. So yeah, this is what it would look like if I was hafting it with sinew. Except it'll be a little flatter. Yeah. Why so many wraps? Because it's obsidian and it doesn't hold very well. Right? It's slippery. Obsidian is slippery. So you need a lot of wraps. But sinew actually dries flat and shrinks. And you can also press it down as it's drying to even make it even flatter. But yeah, this gives you an idea. So you can get some ideas in your head. Yeah. I'm giving you some ideas. You're not giving me ideas, dude, because you're just barely doing it right. Supposed to have high glue or pine pitch in there, and we're supposed to be using sinew, and you're supposed to be talking right. I know. I don't care. I like it when you don't like it. Yeah. But I gotta make sure I don't overdo it. Yeah. I can't make you hate it because then I have no viewers at all. Even though that would be kind of fun. All right, so that's it. It would look like that except with sinew. All right, and you can see how all these features help hold it in place. What features? This little sweeping up of the ears helps to hold the wrapping. See the sweeping up at the bottom of the notch? There's a reason why it does that. So it holds the sinew in better. I go over the top of the wood. The reason for that is it helps to resist impact. See how the wrapping goes to the bottom of the notch up over the wood. So impact is resisted. Now, if I just wrapped it straight across, there wouldn't be as much resistance to the impact. And of course, this down here prevents splitting of the foreshaft, right? But in the real world, there would be glue in there too, just to fill up all the gaps. It makes it more firm. It doesn't hold it on very well because the old glues were kind of brittle. So that's why they use a combination of wrapping and glue. The wrapping actually does a lot of the work, probably most of the work, as far as holding it on. And if you use cordage instead of sinew, you have to wrap it tightly. And if you wrap it tightly and the edges are sharp, the edges will cut the wrap. So you've got to dull the edges. You've got to grind all the edges where the plant-based cordage touches. Like on Clovis. Is that where they ground the sides? I think that might be one reason, yeah. That they were using plant cordage a lot. But I don't know. That's a guess. Okay. So yeah, if it's real sinew, you can flatten it by pushing to make it smooth. And you can put glue over the top of everything too. Okay. And one of these days I'll do a video where I'm using lots of glue. I have other videos where I actually use glue. If you want to see hafting of points with glue and stuff, I do have videos like that. But they're arrowheads for arrows. Okay, so that's how that looks like. Let me clean up and start another point. Okay. And I'm going to check the chat. All right, let's see. Hold on. Okay. Look at those wood shavings. Who was messing with woodworking in a Flintnapping video? So weird. Okay. So let me check the chat. All right. So there's 220 people watching. Watch it go down to like 120. No, do not text me during my live stream. Do not do it. Okay, here comes the inception, right? I'm going to show you infinity. How about that? Let's see. It is size for atlatl, but I think some South American tribes have literal swords on the arrows. I don't know. This is an atlatl dart point and not an arrow point, okay? this type of point, the Elco, and I haven't sharpened it yet. Some of you noticed that I didn't sharpen it, and I told you I was. I hafted it before then. But anyways, this is an atlatl dart point, and the point of the atlatl dart is actually the combination of the stone and the wood, the point and the foreshaft. This is the point. Okay, so if you want to know the weight of the points that they used for their atlatl darts, you got to include the foreshaft as well. So what is it total? Now this foreshaft is Osage orange, which is pretty dense. It's not the densest wood I could have used, but it's pretty dense. So Osage orange, obsidian, together they weigh 0.8 ounces. Now, I don't have my grain scale because I keep forgetting. Yeah. It's like I can't enter my shop unless I can at least forget something. All right. So whatever that translates into grains, 0.8 ounces. All right. This is the weight of the point. You stick it on the end of the atlatl dart. All right.
Yeah, but it's cordage, not sinew, so I bet you it's different.
Yeah, it is slightly different, but just barely. T. Larson, nice point, interesting info. Thanks. You're welcome. Mike says, it's size for atlatl, but I think so. Yeah. I read that one. I swear autocorrect you and yeah. Some of you are fighting with autocorrect. Dacker says, you want me to send you some deer sinew? You're using cordage. Cotton crap. Yeah. Look, I got sinew. You don't need to send me any. I know that was a hint, probably, but you missed it last time I showed my sinew. And that's like 1/10 of what I have. So why didn't I use it this time? Because it's a pain to do it on video. It takes forever. Yes, just for display. Let's see. But yeah, thanks for the offer. I don't want to sound like I don't appreciate the offer. Thank you very much for offering to send me some. But yeah, I got lots. If ever making an arrow for actual use, not display, make sure to soak the sinew, wrap it wet, and use proper technique. Sinew shrinks as it dries and makes it really tight. Yeah, I know. I make arrows too, you know. And then Snowy Boots says, what is this? Well, if you're older than 12, you probably know what it is. I love everything, but your choice of cord is just get some roadkill, get some... Yeah. This is for demonstration purposes. But yeah, we've already... I'm going backwards in the chat, so yeah. Don't mind me. Let's see. What is going on? See, look, it's 132 now as far as viewers. So we lost 100 people because I'm checking the chat and trying to be a good content creator by interacting with the audience. And look what I get. Every good deed, it gets punished. Make another point when that one's done, says Gary. Yeah, I got about 30 minutes. Now, would that explanation of thickness reflect similarly in a turkey tail? Turkey tail points were hung on lanyards. Okay? As far as I know, the turkey tails were hung on lanyards. They're not built for hafting into a shaft. The bases on a turkey tail are so tiny and fragile that it would break in 5 minutes. Just by waving it around in the wind, you'd break that tang off if it was hafted to a piece of wood. Money Maniac says, why are you making a shank in the real world? I don't know, because I'm nuts. I'm crazy. Yeah. And then I made a shank out of obsidian, volcanic glass. Yeah, it's black volcanic glass. So it's like a demon stone. Yeah. Let's see. People ask funny questions, so I give them funny answers. Ask funny questions, you get funny answers. Yeah. It's related to, play stupid games and get stupid prizes. Okay, Mr. Jim is here. What else did I miss in the chat? Monklentine says, it's most likely obsidian from Glass Buttes, Oregon, but there's different kinds of, yeah. This one is from the Sierra Madre Mountains or something like that. This particular batch of obsidian. It's from Nevada. This particular obsidian is from Nevada. Around Lake Tahoe or something, near Lake Tahoe, I think. Oops. Mike says, I did not know about the turkey tail. I thought it was a ceremonial use intended to break on impact. No. We don't have impact fractures on turkey tails. Charles Rooker says, I'm here. Can't wait. No Christmas leak. Patrick? Jim Main says, so turkey tail was used like a corner tang? Yeah, as far as I know, the turkey tails were used like corner tangs. Yeah. As far as I know. Okay, so that's it for questions. Matt Mason says, I always wanted to learn how to do this, but that's badass, brother. Definitely going to try to tune in more. Awesome. Thanks. You are welcome to tune in. But like I was saying earlier, if you ask funny questions, you're going to get funny answers. And not funny, haha. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna start on another point. Shall I start with just a rock by itself? I could start with a rock like this. This is bloodstone or something like that. I don't know. I've got see, I bought a bunch of Flint Ridge when I went to Flint Ridge this past year. And it's all kind of clunky. I got a cheap batch of clunky stuff. So maybe I'll nap some of this. It's all heat treats, Flint Ridge type heat treats. But as you can see, it's like seconds. Seconds means it's low quality stuff. Hold on, I'm checking the chat. Mike Mason says, bird point is typical arrow point, very common, yes. Can you resharpen a flint knife? Yes, the flint knives back in the day were always resharpened, always. Now, I can do it too. Do you want to see how one is resharpened? You just put a bevel on it. I've got a video on it. If you go back in my shorts videos, you'll see, what is it? Percussion sharpening and pressure sharpening. It'll show you how to do it. And that is, you can do the same thing with resharpening, because stone gets dull quickly, very fast. The stone edges do not last very long as far as sharpness goes. Some people are shocked by that statement.
Wait. Stone gets dull?
Yeah, stone gets dull. Dull. Just like Monty Python. Remember that skit? Dull. His life was so dull. Anyways. I used to watch a lot of Monty Python movies. I should watch them all for the holidays. I can do it now because I'm divorced and living by myself. Living the hermit life. I can watch all the Monty Python movies I want. And I think I want. Yes. But see, this is heat treated Flint Ridge, which is some of the nicest material when it's in good quality. This is not good quality Flint Ridge, and I got it for cheap. It's expensive when you buy it, right? You can get it cheaper when it's raw and then heat treat it yourself, but I don't have a setup that's hot enough, or a kiln or oven. Excuse me. I don't have a kiln or an oven that's hot enough to heat this stuff. It needs like 700 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. Anyways, I buy it, but I buy the cheap stuff and I call it a rock challenge. Yeah. That's my grift. I pretend it's challenging. Or I kind of dramatize it. I create drama by making it a challenge. Yeah, that's my grift. Almost ruined my on-air sign. I might have to buy another one if that one gets messed up. I'll buy a sign that says ask silly questions and get silly answers. Yeah. Yeah, so it's got defects in it. It's not a good piece. But the heat treatment makes it easier to nap. It's got a curve in it too. See how it's curved? That means I'm going to lose some length on it. Maybe. There's a good chance I can preserve a lot of length because there's a lot of meat down here. I see a center line in there somewhere, and if I just eliminate this mess, it'll get flat. So maybe that'll work. Yeah, it still looks kind of curved up here, though. Yeah. So this is heat treat fancy stuff. Flint Ridge is fancy stuff. And other nappers, you can see them napping this stuff. A lot of them are better than I am with the boppers. But I'm going to try anyway to nap a lot of this with the bopper. Just to get it in the preliminary shape, and then I'll switch over to indirect percussion. Yeah. To preserve the length, the style of point is going to be most likely rounded or pointed base. That preserves most of the length, right? If you want to preserve length on these, some people want the maximum length and width. Well, to get the maximum length, you need to do a double pointed. Because if it's flat, you lose a lot of length. Yeah, so you try to maximize it by point here and a point there. And just barely knock off all this original surface. Just barely tap it off to preserve length. Now, a lot of times I'll thin it from the base, so I will lose more length than some people would like. But I don't care. For myself, I don't really like working big points. So I will take the length off, no problem. And no worries, and I'll sleep like a baby. Yeah, because I'm not worried about that kind of stuff. But yeah, I do sometimes preserve the length if I'm trying to reproduce a certain point style. And I don't have much material. I'll try to maximize it. But yeah, you can see I'm going to keep that little bit of nasty looking stuff on there so you can see I didn't lose length on that side. And on this side, there's no way to tell, but I'm going to have to lose a little bit of it, probably, because it's kind of wonky. See that? The center line, I can kind of see it from that tip to that tip. It means I got to lose this up here, a lot of this down here. So in the process of doing that, I might lose some of the tip. I'll try not to. But sometimes it gets to the point where I've got to hit this way if the side hits don't work, I got to hit this way to get it thinned out. You know, so if I hit from the very tip inward, I lose some of the tip. But it's the last resort. Yeah. So thin the ends first, thin the tip and the base first. Don't see, this is too thin right now in the middle, so I'm going to be knocking flakes off the ends and keeping the middle thick. Okay? In case you're wondering what my strategy is, that's what it is. Pretty simple. Not easy, but simple. So yeah, I'll be taking flakes like this, taking flakes like that, like this, like that.
Are you going to do that the whole time?
No. I just don't like dead air when there's nothing, there's no sounds. Yeah, so I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I could tell you the basic angles, right? I used to joke about it and say the basic angle is like 52.6 or 56.2 degrees. Either one of those, I forget which one is correct. And you might say, really? That's the angle? And I would just giggle. No. The angles vary. There's not one angle. I have to say that every time. There's not one angle. It varies depending on the situation. What's the angle? The angle at which I hold these pieces relative to each other. This angle or that angle or this angle or this angle or that angle or this angle or this angle. What is the angle, dude? It's never the same. Yeah, but there's got to be one. I know it's never the same, but you got to just give me something. Okay, 56.2 degrees. There. Does that help you? I just hear crickets. It doesn't help to know the angles, even if I told you. Even if I could have something that measured the angles, it wouldn't help you because your situation might be different. The angles vary. And why am I hitting in the middle when I said I was going to nap the ends? Because I saw a good opportunity. Yeah. And because I can, because I nap better than you do. Yeah. I mean, I got to be honest. I can get away with it. You can't, but I can. Yeah. The stone likes me better than it likes you. That's why. Okay. Let's see. Yes, that worked pretty good. It's kind of crunchy and I don't trust it. It's got like internal cracks. So even though it looks like it's snapping easily, it could snap in half at any time. It is snapping easily because it's a heat treat and I can do stuff like that. But it could break at any time with an internal crack or a defect. I just don't know where they are. Where they go, nobody knows. Where did those internal cracks go? Nobody knows. Yikes. I thought I removed the flake. All right, so I'm thinning the ends. Okay? All right. I am, that's my goal. This is one of the hardest stages in flint knapping is the thinning. So even though it looks like I can do this easily, it's not easy. And it's what? It's like it's 37 degrees in the shop and I'm not even cold. That's how much of a sweat stage this is. Yeah. 37 degrees and I'm not cold because this is nerve-wracking and very sweat inducing. Yeah. All right, so I don't know. I can kind of see a center line in there. It's starting to show a good straightness, but it's not perfect. It still looks a little bit curved. So I've got to just keep picking at it little by little. Oops, too much. Little, not lots. Picking it little by little and then figuring out what's supposed to be there and what's not supposed to be there as far as material. I do have to move the edge this way, so that's why I'm hitting that way, even though it looks like I'm not supposed to be hitting that way. I got to hit this way to get this edge moved that way so I can knock off this mess over there, this mass, this messy mass right down in there. Why do you have to move the edge? Trust me, it's a requirement, okay? It's just one of those things in Flintnapping. Yeah. You just got to believe me. I'm not lying to you. Not in this case. Wait, what? Nothing. I didn't say nothing. No. I didn't say nothing. It's got a natural crack, right? And right there where it's not supposed to. Dang it. See, that flake's supposed to go further, but it stopped at that natural crack. So, we shall see if that is going to be our doom. Because it looks like it might go all the way through. But we'll see. It might not. It might be a healed crack. Like it's pretty typical in Flint Ridge material that those cracks are healed over to some extent. It wasn't healed over completely as you saw earlier, but I ran a flake to get rid of that step and it looks like it might be healed up. So it might not go down all the way through, but it could still be a weak spot. You never know. It could still be a weak spot. So we got to be sneaky. Yeah. And if we talk too loud, it might break. Yeah. See, these are risky. See, I got to take those flakes off really fast before it knows what's happening. And yeah, I thin the middle down without thinning the ends. I'm sorry. But I did it because I can. Yeah. I sometimes forget my own rules. Yeah. So it looks like this edge is pretty good. All right. It's just this edge that's got a little dip right here. So I'm going to remove a lot from this side. And that should straighten it. Okay. So if you're wondering why I'm going to attack this side like I don't like it, that's why. And it's got this mess in here where there's a different material and it's got little pockets of quartzite or something in there and that kind of stuff. It's just kind of all nasty on this side. So it's got to go. It looks like we've got some solidness. So that's a good sign. Solidness. Yeah, solidness is a Flintnapping term. Yeah. It means lack of nasty stuff. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is try to maintain a center line by removing whatever is above and below that. Focusing on the ends first before I do the middle. But I'm going to move this edge this way more because I'm going to take off some big flakes. It's easier to take off big flakes if the edge is lower. Yeah. That's just the rule. You got to trust me. All right. How's it looking? It's looking okay. It's not that great, But you know, the way I nap is just opportunistic. I don't make it look perfect before I take a flake. Not at this stage. Later on, when it's finally, getting to the final stages, I will be more careful. But right now, it's still kind of preliminary. I still got junk on here. All right, so I've got to think about where the center line is. From tip to base, there's a center line. I don't like this mass here. It looks like I'm going to have to remove some of that right there and some of this off of that side, because you want convexity, a little bit of convexity this way as well as this way. I might have to lose some off the base. I didn't want to. I wanted to leave that under to show you that I didn't lose any length, but we'll see. See, Brian said, if you threw one of these in the woods, would an expert be able to tell it was made recently? Yes. And experts don't use just their natural vision. They inspect it with a microscope. And you can see copper deposited on the edge if I use a copper tool. Otherwise, the flakes are very similar to, natural tools, hammerstone or antler. The flaking is very similar. There may be slight differences in the smashing of the edge. Copper smashes the edge more than, let's say, antler, but a hammerstone will smash the edge just like a bopper. The difference between bopper and hammerstone is the copper from the bopper is going to be on the edge. There's not much difference otherwise. So sometimes it's almost impossible to tell. Now, if it looks too perfect, that's an easy tell between a modern and an ancient artifact. Okay? Modern nappers tend to make these things look too perfect. So that is a very obvious sign that it's new when it looks really perfect. Okay? So that's probably the easiest way the next expert will identify it, but they'll claim that it's really something else.
No, it's not that easy to tell. It's got a lot to do with the complexity of the edges. Yeah.
Just so they can charge you more money for identifying.
It takes a lot of knowledge to know the complexity of the edges.
Yeah, we know. Okay, so I've got it ground down. I'm thinking, let's see. I'm thinking I should just thin it starting from one end. Okay, so that's a good sign. It went right past that seam that was stopping us earlier. So that's a good sign. I'm going to start thinning it from the tip here, just like I typically do. I do have a habit of starting to thin from the tip. That was a good flake. Okay. That didn't go anywhere, but it's all right. We're just going to do this little by little. Louis says, what is this? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you except it's the weird side of YouTube. That's what it is. It's the weird side of YouTube, man. You're in the wrong place. Yeah. You need to go back to looking at your spaghetti recipes. Or your ramen recipes, I should say. Yeah, go back to ramen recipes. It's all crunchy. It's Captain Crunch. That's what it is. As it starts getting thinner, it gets more crunchy. Mm-hmm. All right. Oops. See, as it gets thinner, it starts to do that too. These little cracks start developing, which are a royal pain. Because you got to watch out. Those cracks can expand and go across the whole point. So whenever you get a crack, you got to remove it right away. At this stage, as it gets thin, those little cracks, I call them incipients, they will ruin your day. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see. Temperature is now 33 degrees and dropping fast, and I'm still not cold because this is nerve-wracking. This is a pain. Yes, it is. Some people enjoy this step, which I understand that it can be enjoyable to challenge yourself. So yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's not bad. It's just, it's one thing you gotta overcome. If you're like me and you get anxiety easily, you have to overcome it somehow or ignore it. And it takes a while for that to develop in your brain. Yeah, just speaking from experience, you've got to not back off, even though it's very risky and dangerous, and this material is expensive, relatively speaking. You can't let that interfere with the napping. It's very difficult to do for someone who gets anxiety. Yeah. But after a while, it gets easier. So I don't have difficulty like that like I used to. Yeah, I get dramatic and I say, this is a sweat stage. It is still a sweat stage, but it's something I've gotten used to over the years. It hasn't gotten fun, but it's not too bad. Yeah. So I'm being very careful, okay? It's not that I'm being slow to annoy you. I've got to be very careful. It's not going to go fast. Okay? It's going to go slow because going fast right now would be foolish. And if I take a break, it's because I need to take a break. Yeah, it's good. Very nice. The heat treating really does help. It's very difficult to nap this stuff in the raw state, in case you're wondering. Okay, so we're getting there. We're making it straight, taking the curve out slowly. I don't know if you can follow along exactly what's going on, but hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. I'm just picking at it slowly, taking opportunistic flakes. I'm not preparing each area to strike. I'm taking these flakes opportunistically. I'm just removing all the delicate areas so that when I hit it, it doesn't smash and crush and all that. I've got to be able to remove flakes from a strong edge. It requires a strong edge when you hit it to remove a flake. Okay? All right. I'm trying to keep maximum width and maximum length. But if it starts getting beyond my ability to do that, to run flakes past halfway, then I have to change my dimensions. I've got to make sure I can run the flakes past halfway. If it's not working, then I got to make it more narrow. That's the rule. Okay? All right. Let me switch over to a smaller diameter. A smaller diameter rod will put less stress on the whole piece. It puts more stress on a certain spot, but it puts less stress on the whole piece. As you can see, it's a very brittle, delicate material, and it's already getting thin. I mean, it's getting thin. It's already starting to reach the limits of my ability, because I'm not sure if I'll be able to get this little mess out of there. I think I want to get rid of that mess. I don't know. We'll see. It still has a slight, what appears to be a slight curve to it, which means I got to remove some of this up here, or just move, take some off the tip and remove some off at the bottom here. But I'm going to try to preserve the length. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to start removing some of that mass off the tip and work my way down again. See, I took a bunch off of this side, so you can't see that white material that was there before. I'll be working more and more on this side. I'll keep hitting more and more on this side because I like the straightness of this side. I don't want to touch this side. So this side is the wonky side. So that's why I'm working primarily this side. It doesn't always work beautifully, but it's working okay. Yeah, and if I make a mistake like this step fracture, I'll have to come in from the other side and try to clean that up. I call that damage control. Yeah. Okay. And it's going to be slow. It's not going to be fast. Doing it fast defeats the purpose. You get diminishing returns. Okay. I should actually take a break and not do this thinning right now, but oh well. What would I do if I was doing this off camera? I would set this aside and work on something else and then come back to this when I'm doing thinning on my other bifaces. So I'm in a thinning mode. It's much less risky. So I managed to remove most of that step fracture with this flake. We'll see if I can remove the rest of it. All right. It's not an easy one to get. It's very easy to make a step fracture. It's very difficult to get one out. And it often requires more than one attempt. And the lucky attempt is the one you stay with. It might look like skill to remove that, but after you try a bunch of times and finally get it, you're actually getting it with the lucky strike, with a lucky hit. It's not necessarily skill. Okay? Just so you know, in case you're wondering why you can't do it or something like that, it's because you do have to rely on luck sometimes. The more strikes, the more attacks on that particular area, the better the chances that you're going to get one lucky one. Okay, that's how that works. Right now, I'm just kind of making the edge better. It's really wonky right now, so I can't really see my opportunities all that well when it's really wonky. This is part of when I say it's going to take some time to get this thin down. I got to make sure my approaches to the obstacles are convex. They have to be convex. It can't be flat. If you attack an obstacle, everything has to be convex. You don't want to attack an obstacle across a flat surface, and you don't want to attack the obstacle with the ending of the flake. You want the flake, that to be the middle of the flake if you can. So if I take this out, the flake's got to extend past it. I don't want to just come right to the end of it. I want to extend past that. You want to control, you want to do damage control with the middle of the flake. Like I wouldn't want to come in from way down here to get the end of that. You know what I mean? As an example, that's an extreme example, but you know what I mean? So I look and see after grinding if it's going to be a good opportunity or not from different angles, from different areas. I usually have a plan A and a plan B. So if the plan A doesn't work, I can try plan B. That's the usual approach. It doesn't always work. Sometimes I have to leave it in. Sometimes I have to leave it in. There's little weirdness in the stone. See that red spot? These red spots? That's internal weirdness. I don't know how to explain it, but those are weak areas. Probably a natural crack in there that is causing that discoloration. So it messes with your attempts to flake the edge. Everything I'm doing is so I can get that out. Okay, even messing with this up here. I want to thin this down as much as I can. Get this edge set up for plan B. Plan A is on this side. But everything I'm doing is to get that out. If there was nothing there, I'd probably be working somewhere else. Why do I want to get this thin down here? Because I'm going to have to hit this hard. And the less weight I have up here, the better. That's just the way I roll. Yeah. It probably won't make much difference. But I like to have this nice and tapered before I start hitting hard. Get things thinned down at the end. So I don't have a lot of mass up here. I'm going to have to hit pretty hard, right? I said that already. If I just shoot right now for that and just try it right now, I've done that in the past and it's not a good strategy for success. It's best to get everything else set up for that one. That, you know, there's going to be 2 attempts. If that attempt doesn't clear it, then I can probably shoot one from the other side. Okay, so I got to make sure it's convex that way, convex this way, make sure the tip is thinned down, because I can lose the whole tip, yada, yada, yada. There's probably some other things in there that I didn't mention, but it's hard to explain. There's some bulkiness on this side. Let's see. And the pressure and the angle is different for each flake. It's not the same every time. Each flake is different because the situation is different. The forces that you apply and the angles that you use are different for each flake. It's not always the same. See, I had to get this out too. I'm also working on this little area to thin it down and to get rid of that mess. Might as well do that while I'm here. And you might think this is ADHD way to nap because you're all over the place. I don't know. I don't know if it's ADHD or strategic. You could probably make the argument that I get distracted by other things. But there's also that requirement that I get it thin up here. But not too thin. Just nicely tapered. Believe it or not, if it's not nicely tapered, you have weak spots. And it'll snap across a weak spot. I've had that happen so many times that I make sure that I don't have these lumps. The lumps are strong spots, and that's also like having a weak spot everywhere else. The lump is a strong spot, and the weak spots are next to it because of that lump. It's hard to explain. Yeah, like that. So yeah, see, it's tapered down better now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is a, I'll get that later. There is a weakness here because of that internal defect. I can fix that a little bit later. What I'm concerned mainly about is the taper. Yeah, I'll fix that later. That does create a weak spot across the tip, but it's something I can't do anything about. Oh well. Can't have everything. Let's see. All right, I'll stop messing with the tip. I mean, I could, if I take back this edge now, it could get me closer to that obstacle. Yeah. That might not be a bad thing. Yeah. I'm still working on doing that. Okay. Everything is revolving around that one obstacle. But I just don't, when I'm doing this off camera, I don't think about it all that much. But it requires a lot of explanation to know what I'm doing and what my mindset is and all that. People want to know why I'm doing it. They can't follow. They don't understand why I'm doing this and that and this and that. Well, maybe now you know. Okay. We have plan A and plan B in place. All right. Good enough. All right. Yes. And I can see a center line in there. It'll be straight once I get the edges just right. I can now see the center line in there. The tip is well tapered. There's still, it's not perfect, but I'm going to stop messing with it. And I'm just going to go for removing the flakes I need to remove to get rid of that step fracture in there. Okay. All right. So that got rid of it. So plan B was not necessary, but it's good to have a backup. All right, so now I can move on. All that just for that one flake. Basically, yeah. So now I continue down the edge, getting rid of lumps, setting up for the next obstacle. This looks kind of bad in there, so that's the next obstacle. Make sure I have convexity. If I see an opportunity, I'll take it. I just took this flake here into this area, which worked out pretty good. The next flake will probably be from here. But as it gets thinner, the options start to decrease. I don't have very many options, so I got to make sure each option is good. So the next obstacle I'm going for is this one here because it doesn't look that great. It's lumpy there anyway, see that? So it's got to come down. It can't be lumpy. It can't remain lumpy. And either side is same distance. So it's same situation as before, plan A and plan B. This one's a better strike on this side because this side has step fractures on it, so it's not that good of an approach. This is a better approach because it's smoother. See that? I can probably follow this ridge here into that area, but we'll see. It doesn't always have to follow a ridge as far as the flakes go. As long as there's good convexity, the flake will go anywhere. And yeah, I'm over my time because I'm trying to explain my damage control procedure. Yeah. Yeah, this is a very important stage. That's why I'm kind of taking extra time and extra effort. All right. Grind it a lot. Yes. So, probably because I'm nervous. I don't need to grind it that much. What am I doing? I'm looking at the convexity and I don't like it, so I'm trying to make it better. And I'm seeing this lump down here and this lump down here. I'm looking to see where my options are to strike into the middle. And I'm also contouring the edge to make it more conducive for a strike. What does that mean exactly? It requires a lot of experience to know what that means. I don't even know. You just got to look right. I notice this looks kind of weird up here, so hold on. That's right where that seam is. So, all right, so let's see. I got to grind this again. And take a flake in the middle. Yeah, I got to get rid of this lumpage, and then I got to get rid of this lumpage on the other side. Take a deep breath, not because it's a bad situation, it's because I hold my breath when I'm thinking. There it is. And if I hold my breath when I'm thinking, I've messed myself up in the flint napping doing that. So I take a deep breath, and then people say, "Why are you so disgusted napping that, dude? You sound so disgusted, so fatigued, so frustrated. It gets on my nerves." Yeah, I can understand. So the other parts of this are not as difficult. That was the hard part. Okay, that's it. That's it for the hard part. Everything else is easier. Yeah. Everything else is easier. Not easy, but easier. Okay. Yes. Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need to do anything complicated anymore. Why was that so complicated? It's because of the thinness. Everything else has a little bit more meat, and I don't see any big step fractures or big obstacles, so it's pretty straightforward unless I mess it up. And all I got to do to not mess it up is to go very slowly and take my time. Okay, so I don't see any cracks along the edges. I'm pretty much sure I can sharpen the tip on that trouble spot. This doesn't look bad anymore. There's still some original surface there, but there's some meat down here. I can flake that off later. I still have the original spot that was on the original edge there, so I didn't lose length on the base. I will nap that off eventually, but I'll try to keep maximum length. Let's see, what is today? Today's Friday. I'll probably finish this up off camera so I can offer it in the auction. Yeah, let me check the chat. All right, so that's it on this piece. The hard part is over. Okay. Let me check the chat and then I'll say goodnight. Yeah. See if I can answer some questions. What do we got? I'll hold up what I did earlier.
Wait, you did that?
Yeah.
But it's got stupid cordage on it.
I know. It's got stupid cordage on it. Don't worry about it. Now we both know it's got stupid cordage on it. Let's see. Well, that shows how a knife is resharpened. Yeah. How much would an arrowhead be worth if you sold it? It depends, but a lot of my stuff sells for between $35 and $65 each. Depends on the material mostly. And if they're really small, they sell for maybe $25. T. Larson says, good night, Patrick and chat. See you later. See you later. Have I hunted with my points? Yeah, but I don't like to hunt with stone because they break. Have I killed anything with stone? Just little game. I think I've shot a few rabbits and stuff like that, but nothing major. I've shot at deer with a stone point and then just end up breaking them and, missing the deer and breaking the point. I don't really like shooting a deer with anything that I know has a risk to it. I'd rather just shoot it with something that's a no-brainer, like a firearm. A powerful rifle. I prefer to shoot deer and other animals with a firearm because I know it's going to kill it. I don't want to take a chance on not killing it. But I will, hunt occasionally with the stone points. Mitch says, we started out practicing on old TV tube glass, old thick bleach bottle bottoms, and 3/8 inch shelving. There you go. Let's see. Dan Harrison says, I have no proof, but trust me. Yeah. I have no proof except what you see on the screen. Thomas says, dances with stone. It's a very technical skill, putting it simply. Yeah. So you know who the moderator is then? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, where's my moderator? Where's Michael? That's how you make it thin. That's cool. Yep, that's how I make it thin. Dan Harris says I'm a long-time subscriber. Awesome. For percussion, spalling, I meant. Let's see. Dan Harrison says, can I please have the moderator role? No, I got to know you pretty well before you become a moderator. I've seen guys just moderate people like crazy, but no, I'm not going to do it. Ice T Jack, I think he's talking about the part in the middle that Patrick said he don't like how it looked. Yeah. Curious you fellas use copper boppers, huh? Or you go traditional with moose antler and deer antler? Mitch, yeah, I have a kit, or I have 3 different kits with antlers and hammerstones. And I even have a wood billet in one of my kits. I started out as a traditional or, natural tool napper, so I've got all that stuff. Do I still do it? Yeah, when I want to feel masochistic. Let's see. Somebody says he's lost. Yeah, when you're here at a napping live stream, 99.9% of the people are lost because this is not a common skill. Your laughter. Something, let's see. I've been doing this for a few months now. Still no idea on how I can get it that thin. I guess I'm just too impatient. Though I do almost exclusively work with untreated Texas chert. You just have to practice more. It's all about practice. It's the same angles, same direction of force, same amount of force. Everything's the same. 2 guys can use the same exact technique, and one is really bad at it and one is really good at it, but it looks exactly the same. And it is exactly the same. There's just small little differences that make all the difference between the 2. So just keep doing the same thing over and over again and just keep practicing. You'll get a feel for the stone after a while. And if you don't, just go to a nap-in and try to get some one-on-one instruction. Salamandra says, oh man, no way I caught the tail end. Yes, you did. I'm way over my time too. It's 10:29 Eastern. I'm supposed to end it at 10 Eastern. Jim Cooper says, uh-oh, I'm on that weird side of YouTube again. What's happened to my ramen recipes? Yeah. Go back to those guys that are lost. Just go back to your ramen recipes. Yeah. Mitch says, it's also something the average person cannot do or learn. You either got the patience and you can see the end product in a slab, or you can't. That is true to some extent, yes. But I can teach people how to nap without them knowing the end result. And they go, whoa, this actually looks like something. I said, yeah, imagine that. I didn't think it could look like this. I know, isn't that cool? But wait, how did that happen? I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's a miracle. All right. And I taught my kids how to nap, and they had no idea what it was. Oh, now I see, Dad. I see how it works now. It's like you just chip it. Yeah, that's it. You just chip it. Let's see. Piney Creek says, I have an awesome tomahawk. It's thousands of years old. Awesome. Yes, yes. Okay, I think I've covered all the questions. I'm going to look back in the chat and see what else I've got. And I'm going to end the live stream. Yeah, I think I've gone back far enough to capture all the questions. If you have one, just ask it really quick. I'm going to end the live stream here in about 2 minutes. Mitch says, is that copper in your Ishi stick? Yeah, it's copper. I have copper rods. I was using straight copper tonight. Just everything copper. This and the boppers. I was using a couple boppers. These are all copper. This is solid copper. These are not caps. These are solid copper on plastic handles. Some kind of plastic. I have a shorts video that I did on December 10th. Just got to scroll back into my videos to December 10th, and you can see the shorts video on my tools. This is my current tools. That's the name of the video. the shorts video. Let's see. Why am I holding this? Because I did this one earlier. I started with a rock, just a plain obsidian rock, and made that point from scratch. It was a rock to point, and then I hafted it with some stupid cordage, cotton junk. But that's how I would haft it with sinew. I just do it for demonstrations because I'm going to take that apart. I use that cordage because I'm going to take it apart. Okay? All right. Let's see. I think that's it. Okay, guys. I gotta call it quits. I'm gonna go to sleep. I got a lot of napping to do tomorrow. Piney Creek says, I'm definitely going to start watching more. You got me interested. I know where a flint quarry is. Well, there you go. Favorite indirect rod diameter, 3/8 inches. For most of my work, I use 3/8 inch diameter. And this one is supposed to be 12 inches long, but it's probably worn down to about 11 inches. And you can get these on eBay. 3/8 inches, but I also have 5/16. Okay? The 5/16 is much more expensive than the 3/8. And you can always file this down to a 5/16 on one end. I just don't do it because I'm lazy. I'd rather spend the extra money just to have a separate 5/16 rod. I can always, grind this down to 5/16 on one end and leave the other end 3/8. But it's too much maintenance for me. That's how bad I am on the maintenance. That's how bad I am on disliking working on my tools. Yeah. I can mill my own copper, yes, but I don't want to. Yep. Monday is the next live stream from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Matt says, awesome. Thanks, Pat. Ever used tip shapes other than rounded ones like that? Maybe flat ones? Yeah, I have used flat ones. I've used ones that are a 45-degree angle. I've used, flat like this. I'll show you. There's two different kinds of flat. I've used this kind of flat for indirect percussion notching, but also flat right across the top, like a cutoff. I don't have one. But you know what I mean? Instead of rounded like this, or these are oval shaped or elliptical. Instead of rounded like this, I have napped with them cut straight off with a slight chamfer around it. And that's a different style. Or I've also napped with them at 45 degrees. Just a 45-degree cutoff. Let's see. Salamandra says, I'll ship those quarry tiles off tomorrow. Awesome. Yeah, I have an auction on Monday that I'll be auctioning my points for the week that I make. Mitch says, I am Cherokee of West Virginia. Awesome. Okay, that's it. I'll see you on Monday, guys. It's good to see everybody. Hope you have a good weekend. All right. Good night. And bye-bye.